Trump voters. Nearly 4 years in, here's an updated list of Trump's 40 biggest broken promises. Number 1, he said the coronavirus would go away without a vaccine. You bought it, but he didn't. While other countries got the pandemic under control and avoided large numbers of fatalities, the virus has killed more than 170,000 Americans, and that number is still climbing. Number 2, he said he won't have time to play golf if elected president, but he's made more than 250 visits to his golf club since he took office, a record for any president, including more trips during the pandemic than meetings with Dr. Fauci. The total financial cost to America, more than $136 million. Number 3, he said he would repeal the Affordable Care Act and replace it with something beautiful.
So we're going to do repeal and replace. Very complicated stuff.
It didn't happen. Instead, 7 million Americans have lost their health insurance since he took office. He's asked the Supreme Court to strike down the law in the middle of a global pandemic with no plan to replace it. Number 4, he said he'd cut your taxes and that the super rich like him would pay more. He did the opposite. By 2027, the richest 1% will have received 83% of the Trump tax cut, and the richest 0.1%, 60% of it. But more than half of all Americans will pay more in taxes. Number 5, he said corporations would use their tax cuts to invest in American workers. They didn't. Corporations spent more of their tax savings buying back shares of their own stock than increasing workers' wages. Number 6, he said he would boost economic growth by 4% a year. Nope. The economy stalled. Unemployment has soared to the highest level since the Great Depression. Just over half of working-age Americans are employed, the worst ratio in 70 years. Number 7, he said,
I'm not going to cut Social Security like every other Republican, and I'm not going to cut Medicare or Medicaid.
His latest budget includes billions in cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Number 8, he promised to be the voice of American workers.
I am your voice.
He hasn't. His administration has stripped workers of their rights, repealed overtime protections, rolled back workplace safety rules, and turned a blind eye to employers who steal their workers' wages. Number 9, he promised that the average American family would see a $4,000 pay raise because of his tax cuts for the wealthy and corporations, but nothing trickled down. Wages for most Americans have barely kept up with inflation. Number 10, he promised that anyone who wants a test for COVID will get one. But countless Americans still can't get a test for COVID.